Military updates. Our troops are conducting aerial reconnaissance of the area, demining the area and applying artillery fire. Mali are on the offensive in the south. Censor.net reports, citing Deputy Minister of Defense Hannah Malier. Today, the situation on the eastern and southern fronts has not changed significantly. East. Hot fighting continues in all directions of the enemy's offensive. Avdiivka, Mariinka, Kupiansk, Lyman. No change in positions. The enemy is on the defensive in the Bakhmut sector. On the southern flank, there is some advance of our troops. Fighting on the northern flank is unchanged. South. Hot fighting continues in the offensive directions of our defense forces, Melitopol and Berdyansk, in the areas of Melitopol and Berdyansk. The process of consolidation of the achieved positions continues. Our troops are conducting aerial reconnaissance of the area, demining the terrain, and applying artillery fire to the identified enemy targets, carrying out counter-battery measures, ready to continue offensive actions. The active work of the defense forces in the Tauride sector continues. Ukrainian forces entrenching themselves on achieved lines in the south, Deputy Defense Minister, Ukrinform reports, citing Ukraine's Deputy Defense Minister Hannah Malier. Heavy fighting continues in the Melitopol and Berdyansk sectors where Ukrainian defense forces are on the offensive. At the same time, the defense forces are entrenching themselves on the achieved lines. The process of Ukrainian forces entrenching themselves on the achieved lines is ongoing. Our forces are conducting aerial reconnaissance of the area, clearing mines and inflicting damage on identified enemy targets with artillery, carrying out counter-battery measures, and remaining ready to continue offensive actions, Malier said. Powerful explosion rang out in occupied Melitopol, Censor.net reports. The mayor of Melitopol, Zaporizhia region, Ivan Fedorov reports that a powerful explosion was heard in the north of the occupied city. According to preliminary information, something happened in the hangar of the village of Zarichna, which was turned into an enemy base, he wrote on Telegram. There was explosion in industrial zone in Bryansk region, Censor.net reports. The governor of the Bryansk region of Russia, Alexander Bogomaz, said that 2 Ukrainian missiles had been shot down in the region, and a sawmill in the village of Baitosh was destroyed. At the same time, the Baza Telegram channel published a photo and claimed that a sawmill in the Bryansk region had been attacked by a drone. Occupiers claim cruise missile shot down near Kerch Bridge, Ukrinform reports, citing Telegram channel MASH. Traffic on the Crimean Bridge is temporarily stopped in both directions. According to our information, this is connected with an attempt by the armed forces of Ukraine to attack its part in the area of Kerch, the report says. According to the occupation authorities of Crimea, a cruise missile was shot down by air defense forces in the area of Kerch. Russia's Telegram channels MASH and SHOT published short videos from subscribers who allegedly recorded the work of air defenses. According to British Defence Intelligence, last 48 hours, Russia is almost certainly struggling with a crisis of combat medical provision, after suffering an average of around 400 casualties a day for 17 months. The influx of military casualties has likely undermined the normal provision of some Russian civilian medical services, especially in border regions near Ukraine. It is likely that many dedicated military hospitals are being reserved for officer casualties. As claimed by the head of the Kalashnikov company's Combat Medicine Training Division, it is likely that up to 50% of Russian combat fatalities could have been prevented with proper first aid. Very slow casualty evacuation, combined with the inappropriate use of the crude in-service Russian combat tourniquet, is reportedly a leading cause of preventable fatalities and amputations. Russian state-approved media has responded to the 24th of June 2023 Wagner Group mutiny in 3 phases. Outlets were almost certainly initially surprised by the mutiny and were not prepared. Russian TV maintained its usual schedule. After the insurrection was diffused, Russian state outlets sought to correct claims that security forces had been passive. Narratives promoted the idea that President Vladimir Putin had triumphed by thwarting the insurrection, while avoiding bloodshed, and sought to unite the country behind the president. Nearly a week later, the state started to play down the significance of Wagner owner Yevgeny Prigozhin and the mutiny, while tarnishing his character. Wagner Telegram channels have largely gone silent, almost certainly due to state intervention. By contrast, Putin has undertaken unusually prominent public engagements, almost certainly aiming to project strength. Thanks for watching, and I will see you in the next report.